Management's now bought into some degree. Probably the first tool I'd get in place is a mature static analysis tool. I'd probably go commercial. If it was like Ruby on Rails, I'll go Brakeman. And for specialty stuff, there are a few open source, but for the most part, I got to go commercial for static analysis. That's the earliest tool I get into place. And I'd really try to find a static analysis engine that was specific to my language and framework. So I'd go through a bake-off with different vendors, and if vendors don't want to play, I wouldn't consider them, and go through a bake-off so I can find a static analysis engine that I can use on a day-to-day basis that's really effective for my particular language and framework. That's the
right,
first
that's the key.
tool I would use.
Right, because the different tools work very well for certain languages and not for others.
Absolutely. There's giant lack of overlap between application security tools. So I'd find the right, and I'd maybe even put a few static analysis tools in place over time. The other thing I would do is, I want to.
Can I ask you one quick question on the static analysis tools? So do you favor those that you're looking at the raw source, or there are some that are looking at the binaries? So Veracode obviously being the most famous of the compiled code analysis. What's your recommendation there? It would seem to me that the ones that looking at the direct source are better, but you'd know better than me.
I'm going back to my, there's a lot of vendors, right? There's Veracode, there's Fortify, there's open source like Brakeman, there's Brakeman Pro, there's Coverity, there's a lot of there's checkmarks. There's a lot of new vendors in this space as well. I think they're all valid to some degree. Okay. So what I recommend is do a bake-off for your particular situation. Right. I think it's compelling that Veracode does binary analysis, but if I really want to get to the source code, so I use the binary analysis type of technologies really for things that I don't own the source code.
You don't own the source, right? Yeah. If you're looking at a DLL, that allows you to analyze what's in there a little bit.
There's a Wired magazine article that talked about new technology. We review source code, and Chris Weisserfall jumps in and is like, yeah, we've been doing binary analysis for like 20 years. This Wired magazine article talks about it like it's this new thing. But I give Weisserfall credit. He's been doing it for 2 decades. I salute you, sir. It's a long time to be shilling AppSec analysis, and he's still enthusiastic about it. But again, I think all the vendors out there, because there's a lot of reasons why you'd want to use static analysis and how you would implement it. You may want to do it integrated into GitHub. You may want to be able to hand it to a third. There's so many different use cases. I go through a vetting process and a lot of different bake-offs and get something in place that's running on a daily basis. That's a really good use of time and resources for early stage AppSec, I would dare say.